Nico Harrison has completely killed the vibes of the Dallas Mavericks locker room, as the Dallas Mavericks are 2-6 through their first 8 games of the season, with 2 big losses coming from the Washington Wizards and the New Orleans Pelicans. 2 teams that should have been an easy dub for this Dallas Mavericks team, as both teams were missing key players, but it didn't matter. The Dallas Mavericks were struggling on the offensive end, the defensive end couldn't hold, and the Dallas Mavericks, as a result, are 2-6, and the team is fed up. We've seen messages, comments, clips, quotes from many players on the Dallas Mavericks team showing their frustration with the success or lack thereof of the organization, as well as some of them do seem to miss Luka Dončić, showing that they themselves are upset with what has happened within this organization. So in this video, we're going to take a look at what are the players saying, what have they said after games, what are they saying online, what are the vibes like in the Dallas Mavericks locker room, and what can they do to overcome the woes of the start of the season. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 22,429 subscribers. We're getting very, very close to the goal of 25K. So if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related, from our live stream watch-alongs, our news vids, the rumors vids, the giveaways, and everything else in between, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But it's fair to say that the players do, in some way, shape, or form, feel the same way as us, the fans, feel watching them play and not get that many dubs in the first 8 games of the season, as the Dallas Mavericks are currently 2-6. And like I said in the intro, we had 2 big losses that were just humiliating, demoralizing. They felt like we hit rock bottom, and then we kept digging deeper, realizing, hey, there are new lows that this team can reach. The Dallas Mavericks, who are only 2 seasons removed from making it to the NBA Finals, are now showing the absolute worst that a team can perform in the first 8 games of a season. Now, you would argue that the worst that you could possibly do is be 0-8. The Dallas Mavericks are 2-6, but by the numbers, the Dallas Mavericks are now on pace to have the absolute worst offense in the history of the NBA. The Dallas Mavericks have the 30th offense currently this season, while somehow maintaining a top 10 defense, but that obviously doesn't matter. You can say defense wins championships. Well, this defense can't even beat the Washington Wizards. This defense can't even beat the New Orleans Pelicans. The Dallas Mavericks are struggling right now. Now, by all means, they can definitely turn things around. They're 2-6. They're not 2-53. The Dallas Mavericks can definitely go on a run. They can definitely turn their whole entire season around, where a lot of things that we're feeling right now won't even matter if they find success, but they have to find success. But in the meantime, a lot of players are frustrated, and they're letting it be known exactly how they feel. And even after games, in their press conferences, we're hearing about it. Like Max Christie the other day, on staying level-headed in the level of frustration due to the poor start. He said, "I know we're all upset, obviously, that we're losing 2-6 is not an ideal start through 8 games. So if any of us were happy about that, then there'd be an issue. There's definitely a sense of frustration in the sense that we want to win games. We do know it's 8 of 82 so far, so we have a lot of games left, and we're not going to keep using that as an excuse. But it is a fact. We're upset. We're frustrated. We got to do better as a team. We got to figure it out. We got to find a way to win more games. This is a slow start for us, and I don't think any of us expected to be here." And Max Christie has definitely been a bright spot for the Dallas Mavericks. He's been a very consistent player. Honestly, should be in the running for most improved if he was still coming off the bench. Most improved and 6th man of the year. Max Christie has been amazing for us. But he himself has been very honest, not just in last night's press conference, but in games prior when we did lose, about how it feels in the locker room. What are the vibes like? And the team's frustrated. They're upset, which is a good thing. You don't want these guys just not caring or lackadaisical, like, oh, there's only 8 games. It's whatever. Although it is only 8 games, they understand that there is a sense of urgency. Eventually, these losses will rack up. Eventually, we're going to get too far behind. I mean, we're already at the bottom of the West. We're the worst team in the West right now. We're at the very bottom. But we still have enough time to turn things around. All we got to do is find a few wins. We go on a nice little streak. We shoot up the rankings. Maybe we'll squeak into the 8th or 7th seed. But right now, being at the very bottom, this early on, with this many issues that we have, having historically the worst offense ever in the history of the NBA. We have the worst offense currently this season, a top 10 defense. We're 4th in pace in the league, but none of that really matters. The Dallas Mavericks fundamentally have an issue with this team as far as the offense, the makeup, the rotations, the lineups. Things are not working. The fans are stressed. The fans are frustrated. The players are frustrated, and they're letting it be known. But not only Max Christie had a lot to say about the frustration that the team is feeling, Cooper Flagg himself on how the locker room is handling the Mavericks 2-6 start, saying, for me, it's the most I've lost since, I think, ever. I wouldn't say anyone is happy. Guys are obviously trying to stay level-headed and know that we got a lot more games to go and it's still really early. But I'm speaking personally. I know it's not fun to just keep losing and losing games. So I'd like to make a change and hopefully start making steps in the right direction. Young Cooper Flagg, he's a rookie. He's 18 years old. He has a lot of promise. He's looked good so far in the season. Some people would argue that he could do better, that he has a lot of room to grow, which is a good thing. I'm glad he hasn't reached his ceiling just yet. And even though he is a rookie, these losses can be good for his development. He can learn from these losses just like he can learn from these wins. But if we're not going out there fighting, if we're losing because we're just not playing well or we have no game plan, there's no strategy behind it, then we're losing just to lose. We're not even losing to learn something. We're not even losing to grow. And for Cooper Flagg, it's very important early on in his career that we sow the seeds of greatness. So later down the line, he can achieve everything that he is meant to achieve and more. Not just for the team, but for himself. But the frustration does not stop there. If we take a look here, over on Instagram, Luka Doncic posted a picture of himself in the purple and gold, and Najee Marshall had to drop some sad face emojis. Najee Marshall, who was very close to Luka Doncic in the short time that they played together, obviously misses his man, his hermano, and he had this to say just last season about Luka, saying, Luka is just the chillest guy ever, bro. You just feel like his best friend from day one. He's just a great dude. Never mad, just always happy, and just a hell of a flamethrower when it comes to basketball. Najee on Luka. So obviously the players are starting to miss Luka Doncic. They know what they had, not just in a basketball player who is honestly one of the best in the league right now, but they also realize that they've lost a good teammate. Someone that just makes you feel happy, that makes you feel good. That even when you're losing alongside Luka Doncic. But now when you're losing alongside players like Dwight Powell and Caleb Martin, where it's like, this is what I got, this is what we're doing. It's very, very frustrating, but it does not stop there. True story. The guy sitting next to me was wearing a Dončić jersey, and as Clay was walking by to check in, Clay just randomly points to the jersey and say, I miss that guy. This was from just a few games ago that we got this about Klay Thompson looking at a Luka Doncic jersey saying, I miss that guy. So not only Najee Marshall, who did play more games than Clay did, well, roughly the same amount of games. Clay and Najee both came in at the same offseason, but Najee Marshall obviously missing Luka Doncic. Klay Thompson also missing Luka Doncic, knowing exactly what we're missing in Luka Doncic that would literally fix a lot of things. The team understands that we have to win games to make things better. But it's hard to win games when the one thing that was helping you is now gone. Now we have to figure things out, and we're not able to figure it out. But we can't be victims of the moment. The players know that too. They're just letting out their frustration, but it does not stop there. As we continue, Ron No Sports said that the Mavs were playing Marvin's Room by Drake at shoot-around yesterday. While he said the players will still seem to enjoy being around each other, he said the vibe felt sad and dark. But you know what they say, ladies and gentlemen, when a good thing goes bad, it's not the end of the world, it's just the end of the world that you had with one player. That player was Luka Doncic. You're playing Marvin's Room at a shoot-around? Marvin's Room is a sad song. For those that don't know Drake and don't know the song Marvin's Room, look it up. It's a very, very sad song. And for them to be playing that during shoot-around, being 2-6, if they were 6-2 right now, they would not be playing Marvin's Room at a shoot-around. Obviously, the vibes being sad and dark, you play that very sad and dark song, yeah. I understand completely how these players feel. But like I said, it does not stop there as the vibes still are not exactly where they need to be. I'm all over the place. Where Klay Thompson, just a few games ago when we lost to Houston Rockets in frustration, was seen smacking cups and just bottles off a table as he was leaving the court. Fans are trying to get a high five, but Klay was upset. And as we know, the game following that loss, Klay was sent to the bench where he did look halfway decent, or I guess more so himself. But these players are frustrated. These players want to win games. These players understand exactly what we had about 8 months ago, 9 months ago, however long it was, back in February. They know what they had and how things felt. Even though you were losing alongside Luka Doncic. Now that you're losing alongside no one. The Dallas Mavericks don't have Kyrie Irving. The Dallas Mavericks, at the time of recording, may or may not have Anthony Davis tonight against the Grizzlies. We don't even know. The Dallas Mavericks have a very long way to go, and with every loss, we dig ourselves deeper and deeper that we may not ever be able to pull ourselves out of. But the one thing that can fix things for this Dallas Mavericks team is to get wins, to stick to each other, stay together as a team, stick to the game plan, perfect the game plan first of all. Make sure that the game plan actually works, but stick to the game plan. Trust each other. Go out there and take it one possession at a time, one game at a time, a day at a time, a week at a time, and eventually things are going to click for this team. They are too good individually to not be good together. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think the vibes are ruined? Do you think these players are just giving up, that they don't care? Or do you think that there's a spark there, that they can still come back, that the fire is not put out when it comes to the competitiveness and the drive of this team? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We can have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you as far as the video. Make sure you check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. And as always, y'all, take care. Drink water. Peace.